Hi there friends, it's the Disappointing Weeb here, and today we're going to be going through my manga collection. My manga collection has got about 670 volumes in it, so it's a pretty decent sized collection, not the biggest on YouTube, but still pretty big. I've been collecting for well over a decade. I started collecting when I was about 13, but that's not been consistent all the way through. My collection's probably doubled in about the last 3 years, so that's the kind of idea of the collection. There's lots of older things in here, lots of out of print stuff like old Tokyo Pop manga, but also lots of newer stuff like Jujutsu Kaisen. The really important thing to remind you about this manga video is that I'm doing a giveaway for Attack on Titan Omnibus Volume 1, and I'll be talking more about that at the end of the video. So if you don't care about the manga collection and you just want to find out how you can win the Attack on Titan manga, just skip ahead. But without further ado, let's get into my collection. Okay, so let's get into the manga collection. Quick pan just to show you the sort of size of the collection, and then there's more over here. So it's a pretty sizable collection. I've had to put a lamp out because my room's so dark that you wouldn't see anything otherwise. So let's get on with the collection, starting at A. And our first A is I, Yori Oishi, Volumes 1 and 2. A Tokyo Pop series, which I would have liked to read more of, but Tokyo Pop went bust, so they're quite difficult to get a hold of now. And next to that is another manga series by another publisher that has gone out of business, ADV, and that is Aria. I'd have liked to have read more of that as well. I could only ever get volume 3 for it, but it's out of business, so until somebody else licenses it, that's on pause. Next up, a series which is a imprint company, probably the biggest manga company there is, Viz Media, for publishing in the West, and that is Asadora. And this is another Naoki Urasawa manga, and this is really good, really good. It's the story of Asa, this girl here, and it sort of talks about a kaiju who is attacking Tokyo. I think they're based in Tokyo, it's in Japan anyway. And sort of her growing up in that environment, and it's got things about, she meets a pilot from World War II, and they sort of team up. It's a really good story, really exciting as well. I tend to read these volumes in one sitting because I can't put them down. Next up is my Attack on Titan Omnibus and Colossal Edition Volume 1. I've got more of the Colossal Editions, you'll see those as we go through. I'm currently reading Volume 2, so that's over here. Volume 2 is on my desk. Really enjoying Attack on Titan. I've put it off for a long time because as a teenager I really couldn't get into the anime, but now I'm starting to really enjoy it. There's some more Colossal Editions in my to-be-read shelves, which I keep separate from my collection. Next up is Azumanga Daioh. This is one of the first really popular comedy manga in the West. It's by Kyoko Azuma, who I think also did Yotsubato and Nichijou. Nichijou's just recently been published in the West in a nice box set. It's a 4-panel comic, slice of life comedy series about a group of high school girls. This is the ADV Omnibus, so this one is very out of print, but it's a really good comedy series, and definitely worth picking up if you see it. Next up is Bakuman Volumes 1 through to 20. Bakuman's a really good series about two guys trying to create a manga. Another really great series that's worth picking up. I'm going to be saying that about quite a lot of these series, I think, probably. I don't know if you can still get this series. This is Black Cat, and this is also a really good shonen series. You will notice in my collection that we do start to see some volumes double up, especially when I have forgot that I've either bought something or I ordered it twice. So I've got 2 volume 9s of Black Cat there. It's a really good series, but I think it's out of print. If it is, that's a shame. If not, it's also something that's worth picking up. Next up is Bleach, and I've got the full set of Bleach, double volume 5. Most people have heard of Bleach. It's one of the big 3. There's some more Bleach, and there's some more Bleach. I made the stupid mistake. This shelf is dusty. I made the stupid mistake of buying the omnibus editions towards the end because I was impatient of getting manga in. I regret doing that now because it looks ugly, but that's what I did, so I'm stuck with it now. Some of the Bleach extra books, we've got Bleach Colours and Bleach Souls. They're fine, there's nothing really that important about them. Batum, this is a series that I watched the anime for when it was airing. I really want to collect the manga, but it's really hard to pick up the whole set, so I've just got volume 1. Burn the Witch, another thing by Tite Kubo, just like Bleach. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was amazing, but it was okay. I'm looking forward to seeing if anything else will come of that in the future. I hope it does. It's supposed to. Bottom shelf, we've got Candidate for Goddess, which is a really awful Tokyo Pop manga. Some Tokyo Pop card character Sakura single editions. The first two omnibuses. Didn't really enjoy this series, so I didn't pick any more up. Card Fight Vanguard, which is a card game manga. I really enjoyed playing the card game, so I picked up the manga. The manga's okay. I've got 2 volume 1s, and this wasn't by mistake. It was because there was a promo card which I wanted more than one copy included, so I've got 2 volume 1s. Chainsaw Man Volume 7. Everybody knows about Chainsaw Man. It's about to get an anime over in 2022. It's really, really good. Really, really, really good. Definitely worth picking up if you see it, but they are really hard to get at the moment, and they get scalped, so don't pay more than RRP for them. Next up is Chobits, another really famous Clamp manga. I've got the full Chobits set, so it's just 2 big omnibus editions. There's the first one, there's a second one. It's about a guy that meets this sort of robot girl in a dump, and a kind of romance between them. It's a bit unconventional, but it's quite a fun little series. This is a Tokyo Pop, I think. Is it Tokyo Pop? Yep, Tokyo Pop single edition of Volume 3 of Chobits. More Tokyo Pop here. We've got Comic Party and Comic Party Last Call. Not very good, so I'm not going to say much about those. Now, this is my #1 recommendation when people ask me what manga they should be reading. It's Dead Dead Demons DDDD Destruction by Inio Asano. Absolutely amazing. Really, really cool. It's about Tokyo in a kind of alien invasion, and about these girls sort of growing up in that. It asks lots of really cool moral questions, and it does a really good job at looking at lots of different social issues, but not making it really obvious that that's what it's doing. The art's amazing. Inio Asano, more than anything, is amazing at backgrounds, and the scenery in this manga is beautiful. The only difficulty is you can get these volumes, but this volume 1, is really hard to get hold of. So if you see it, I'd definitely say worth buying at RRP. Death Note. Most people know Death Note. This was my first manga series, which means that the first volume is nice and yellow. Death Note's an amazing manga series, even all this time. It's still one of my favourite series. Really, really good series. Definitely worth picking up. And we've got a few more things, I think, from the authors of Death Note in this collection too, as well as Bakuman. Demon Slayer. Everybody knows Demon Slayer. We've got the full set of Demon Slayer there. I preferred the anime for Demon Slayer. I thought that the manga was good, but I thought the anime was exceptional. So, Demon Slayer, if you're not a hyper fan, I'd say just watch the anime. Detroit Metal City. This is a manga about a singer who sings like love ballads, but they never get any popular. So he ends up being in a death metal band that he hates being in, and sings lots of expletive death metal songs. It's a fun manga, but the joke ran a bit thin for me, and there's a really good live action film instead, which I much prefer. Next up is Domo the manga, another Tokyo Pop thing. I bought this as a 14-year-old and don't know why I did. It's okay, but it's just this one single volume. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagataro. Had an anime earlier this year. It was really good. The manga is really, really good. Worth picking up if you see it. Next up, Downfall by Inio Asano. Another one of the Inio Asano manga. This is one of the weaker ones for me. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good, in all fairness, but not as good as some of the other manga, like Dead Dead Demons Destructions. Durarara. The nice thing about this is it's a 20-odd episode anime, but that's all encapsulated in 4 volumes of manga, and it's done quite well. The anime for this is exceptional, as well as Bacano, done by the same person. Definitely worth picking up. CMX, another out-of-business publisher, published this manga, The Empty Empire, and if this is a representative of their quality, then I understand why they went out of print, because it is awful. Next up is another pretty rare series, a Tokyo Pop complete set, Escaflowne. This is probably one of the first isekai series, or one of the first series you could say is an isekai. Very good. If you can find it, read it. I find lots of libraries have this, so that might be one way to find it, but it's really good. Fist of the North Star. You could call this the original JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's amazing. The first 2 volumes have been really fun, and I'm looking forward to more of this coming out. Tonikawa, Fly Me to the Moon. Another series that had a anime recently. Pretty good. Can get a little bit repetitive, but if you're into sort of romance and comedy, then this is worth picking up. Freak, this is a Korean manhwa before manhwa were popular. It's pretty boring. I'm not a very big fan of it, so it just stays there. Fruits Basket and Friends, these are preview editions of certain manga that were being released by Tokyo Pop at the time. Nothing to keep them for really, apart from the nostalgia, so they live there. Full Metal Alchemist, volumes 1 to 4. I enjoyed Full Metal Alchemist. This is something I bought as a teenager. I'll eventually buy the Full Metal editions. Genkaku Picasso, this is just awful Bakuman. Really boring series, would not recommend. Ghost Hunt Volume 9. Another series I wanted to read, but can't find anywhere. Glypnir Volumes 1 through 9. This also had an anime in the last 2 years. The anime was really good, the manga's very good. It's very dark though, so if you don't like dark manga, probably not for you. But it's probably one of the manga that I look forward to the release for more than any other. Volume 10 I'm getting on Monday, so I'm looking forward to that. Good Night Pun Pun. First of all, beautiful spines. I love the way that they all come together. This is my favourite Inio Asano manga, and could be my favourite manga full stop, actually. A really, really good manga. Very dark, talks about mental health problems, abuse. I've done a full video review of this manga on my channel, so you can check that out if you're interested in more about that. Godere Somo Nagihara. This is a fanservice-y trash manga that I also enjoyed. It's about a guy who is in love with a character in a manga he's reading, and she becomes real, but she has a different personality to the character in the manga. Very funny, but also very fanservice-y and very lewd, so if you're not into trash fanservice manga, don't pick this up. The Great Jahi Will Not Be Defeated. This is pretty good. It's about a demon lord who loses all of her powers when her mana crystal is destroyed and has to live in Japan. Funny. The manga's very good. If you want to pick up a comedy series that's only just started, then that's probably one to pick. Grim Reaper and the Four Girlfriends. This series is fun. It's another kind of harem-y trash series about a guy who I think if he doesn't... I'm trying to remember the storyline. It's something like if he doesn't fall in love within a certain amount of time, then he's going to get killed. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it's pretty mid, but it was okay to just have something when I went away that I could read the whole thing through. These two are other things which are quite rare. So we've got Gunsmith Cat's Misfire, and we've got Gun Parade March. So these are both things which there's not really that much to say about. Yeah, they're both fine. It's a long time since I've read these, but I don't really have anything to say about them, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of either, and I know there are some people who are massive fans of these series, but that's not me. Happy Lesson, which I think is another ADV release. Yep, ADV release. It wasn't very good, so I didn't buy any more. Haruhi Suzumiya and the manga, volumes 1 through 10. I like Haruhi Suzumiya. I enjoyed the manga, but I'm not willing to pay the amount of money that people want for the manga because it's out of print, or a lot of it is. So it's living on as a 10-volume set rather than the whole 20 volumes. Haruhi-chan, very similar. This is a 4-panel comic series, and it's very fun, but I'm not willing to pay the crazy prices that people want for it. Here's My Master, volumes 1 to 5. That's the complete set. This is a really old manga series. It's very funny. It's a comedy series. The anime is quite good for it, but it's a long time since I read it. There's lots of trash like this that are things that a very young version of me bought, but this is still quite a cute series, so I've kept it. High School of the Dead, volume 1 to 5. Another horny series, really. I enjoyed the manga, the anime for this. It's a post-apocalyptic zombie invasion series about a group of high schoolers and their teacher trying to survive. Very fan-servicey. I've got the other 2 volumes on my to-be-read shelf, but I've just not got around to it. Higurashi, the first 2 arc mangas. Yep, very good gory horror manga. The anime is very good. Would recommend. How to Treat Magical Beasts. So this is sort of the exact opposite of a lot of the things we've just been looking at. This is a very cute sort of magical animal vet story. Also very cute. It's probably enough said about that. Hybrid Heart. This is a fan-servicey mech kind of warrior series. where they put on sort of lewd suits and battle each other. Is This a Zombie? This is a really good series. This is about a guy who is killed and becomes a zombie, and then he meets a magical girl and she's losing a fight, so she gives him her magical girl powers, or he steals them or something like that. And it's another kind of comedy series. It's very funny. This is here for a meme, really. This is Jackie Chan Adventures, which was produced by Tokyo Pop, and I keep it just as a reminder of why Tokyo Pop were awful and why they went out of print and out of stock. I know they're back again now, and they're owned by Disney, so they publish even more gems like the Jackie Chan cine manga. Next up, we'll move to the next shelf, and we've got some Jujutsu Kaisen. I really enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen. I've got a couple of cards here that I got with like sweets. This is a really fun series. Most people know what it is. Because these series are so hard to get hold of, I would order things multiple times to try to make sure I got something, and if something came before I'd had a chance to cancel it, I ended up with duplicates. So I've got duplicate volume 9s and volume 10s, so I'll be getting rid of those in the future. K-On! The manga, I love K-On! I love the anime for it, but the manga is awful. It's also really expensive. I'm missing volume 3. Some of these volumes can go for around £200 each, and I'm not willing to pay that. But once I find volume 3 for a reasonable price, I'll probably pick it up. Kaiju number 8. This is a new Shonen Jump series. Really, really good. It's about a guy that can turn into a kaiju. Really, really cool series. Definitely worth picking up if you're into sort of battle shonen series. Next up is Kaze no Hana, and then Konosuba, An Explosion on This Wonderful World. I bought this because I'd already seen Konosuba. I didn't want to just repeat the same story again. So this is a different story about Megumin, and this is really fun. Next up is Iron Fist Shimi Kung Fu Boy, and this is probably one of the earliest Western manga releases where they formatted it in the right to left format for reading. Genuine Japanese manga start here. It's also about the same size as a Japanese volume rather than a Western volume. So I just thought to keep this as an example of where we came from with our manga publishing in the West. Love Hina, most people have heard of this. It's an old harem fan service series. I think they're buying more than one volume. Madoka Magica, the omnibus edition. I bought this because I've had the first 2 volumes as singles and couldn't find the third, so I just bit the bullet and bought the omnibus version. Maho Romantic, another thing that's Tokyo Pop and I only bought 1 volume of because I didn't enjoy it. The Misfit Demon King Academy. Really, really good anime series. It's sort of a power fantasy series about this really overpowered guy. The manga and the anime are adaptations of a light novel, and unfortunately the person who created the manga died, so this series is currently on hiatus, but the anime is really, really good. Mistress Fortune, a one-shot manga that was awful. Gundam Seed, these are quite expensive. These are Del Rey as well, and I think Del Rey are out of business too. Gundam Seed Destiny, Gundam Seed Astray and Astray R. Also more Gundam stuff, and these are Tokyo Pop. That's Iron Fist Jimmy falling off my shelf, so they're very hard to get hold of. Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt, really, really cool manga, but the soundtrack is so good that you should just watch the anime. The soundtrack for this series is amazing. Gundam Explorer, which is just sort of a kind of Gundam fact file thing. Mujirushi is another Naoki Urasawa manga. It's a one-shot. It's a really good place to get into Naoki Urasawa and see what kind of thing he produces. It's about a family that sort of have financial troubles, and they are offered a lifeline in the form of stealing some artwork from the Louvre. So this is a really cool series. It's funny, has dark moments, really nice series, and a lot in there for such a small book. Muyuan Roji, I didn't enjoy this, so I didn't buy any more. My Hero Academia, everybody knows what My Hero Academia is, so we'll just say we've got volume 1 through to volume 25. We've got some more on my to be read shelf that I've not read yet. My Hero Academia Vigilantes, something I enjoyed and I'll probably buy more of. My current favourite read is this, Monster by Naoki Urasawa. Probably my favourite Naoki Urasawa work. Really, really dark story, but really, really, really suspenseful. Really, really good series. It's also based in Germany, which you don't tend to find in manga. Neon Genesis Evangelion. The manga is my favourite version of the story. I think it's really, really good. It feels a bit perfected. The sets for these are quite expensive. Some of these volumes are hard to find, but it's also a series which seems to be getting reprinted very often, so just wait and it will come back. Nora Rise of the Yokai Clan, something I wasn't that fussed about, but I did buy 6 volumes of. Oh My Goddess, this is a kind of 4-panel comedy thing. One Piece omnibuses, we've got the first 2 here. I have got more of these, they're on my to-be-read shelf, and I will get around to them. Otsuki Zoshi, a Tokyo Pop series I didn't enjoy. Pilgrim Jaeger was something that somebody just gave to me. I read it, but I thought it was a bit poo. Platinum End, this has got a anime out at the moment. This is by the guys that made Death Note and Bakuman. And this is about people in a sort of tournament arc fighting to become the next god. It's a pretty cool manga, and the manga have got these really cool shatterfoil effects on them, so that's really nice. It's worth picking up if you're into the works of the guys who made Death Note, although it's probably weaker than Bakuman and Death Note. Pokemon Adventures, I bought this because I was a teenager and wanted Pokemon. Pre-Tier Volume 3, Siren Volume 1, Real About High School, these are all poo, in my opinion. Rent a Girlfriend, this had an anime that was very popular. I've got all the stuff that's released currently in the UK, so Volumes 1 to 9, Volume 10's on the way. And Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend, which is a spin-off. This is a fun series if you enjoy sort of rom-com stuff. Rinne, some people really like this series. I wasn't a huge fan, but I do have the first 5 volumes of it. Rosario Vampire, this is one of the really early harem kind of fantasy series. And I've got the whole of this. You can see there's another double volume there, 2 volume 5s. So we've got volume 1, season 1, and then it goes into season 2. This is a really, really good series, and the manga is far better than the anime. So if you did want to get into Rosario Vampire, the manga's the best way to go. The mangaka has also got another series in Shonen Jump at the moment called Ghost Reaper Girl, which is also quite good, but the mangaka is unfortunately ill at the minute, so the series is on hiatus. Saint Young Men Volume 1. This is a series about what would happen if Jesus and Buddha were living together. It's supposed to be a comedy, but for me, comedies are supposed to be funny, and I didn't find this funny, so I only bought the first volume. Samurai Deeper Kyo, Samurai Champloo, this is Tokyo Pop, and that's the complete set, Volume 1 and 2. It was good, and the anime is really good. These are also very expensive for no reason whatsoever, apart from the fact it's Tokyo Pop. And this is a recent read, Semel Paros, I think is how you pronounce it. It's about these 2 girls who go and fight these kaiju who are trying to invade the world. But there's some really dark twists in the kaiju and what they are and all these other things. So this is a really cool series, and it's on Volume 1. So if you want a series to keep up with, this is a good one to start on. Next up is Sergeant Frog, Volumes 3 twice. I don't know why I have these, but they're here. Sergeant Frog, Volume 3 twice. Shaman King, there's some old Shonen Jump versions of Shaman King. And then if we go to my other shelf, we have the omnibus editions. Shaman King is really good. It's had an anime reboot, very good shonen series from the 90s. The only annoying thing is that my volume 2 is taller than the rest of them for no reason whatsoever. But that's Shaman King. Showmin Sample, this is the complete set of Showmin Sample. This is about a elite all-girls high school, and they abduct a commoner man to go and be a sample commoner for them. So it's about the girls learning about commoners, and it's sort of a comedy harem series. It's quite fun. This is a old Shonen Jump sneak peek manga. A lot of you probably haven't seen these because I know lots of people got into manga very recently, but we used to get these produced where they would advertise the new manga that was coming out. Yu-Gi-Oh! D Greymen, Buso Reiken and Prince of Tennis, all things that are very over. And then Mega Man and Hayate the Combat Butler, also things that I think are very over as well. But we used to get these for, I think they were free. Yeah, not for sale. So these were quite cool. You usually get a little chapter of each thing to look at, and that was pretty nice. Sneeze is a story collection by Naoki Urasawa. It's quite good. It's a good way of getting to know their work. A lot of the stories in here are really cool. Some of them are better than others, but a nice little story collection. Solanin is a manga series by Inio Asano. It's pretty dark, so sometimes it can be a little bit much, but the art is very good, and I enjoyed it. Spy Family is another huge Shonen Jump series at the moment. There's volume 1 through to volume 6, which is everything that's out. Really, really good series about a undercover spy who has to form a fake family to get information about the enemy. And then the wife ends up being an assassin, and the daughter ends up being psychic, so she can read minds and things like that. Really, really cool series. Probably one of my favourite ongoing series at the moment. Sword Art Online stuff. We've got Sword Art Online Hollow Realization. This is a series based on a video game. The game wasn't very good. The manga isn't much better. Sword Art Online Progressive. Sword Art Online Progressive has just had a anime adaptation film released in the West, and it's the Aincrad story retold through the eyes of Asuna, but it's much more focused on kind of giving Aincrad the amount of time it needs to really flesh it out. And I really think this is a superior version of Sword Art Online. And then we've got Sword Art Online Broccoli of Froth, which is the sequel to Sword Art Online Progressive. Tiger and Bunny Volume 1. Really, really good superhero anime. Manga not quite as good, but they've just announced Season 2 coming out on Netflix, so I'm looking forward to that. To Save the World, Can You Wake Up the Next Morning with a Demi-Human? This is really awful trash, ecchi series. Would not recommend. Trigun Maximum Volume 2. I'd like to get the rest of this, but it's very expensive. Tsubasa Volume 1, another Clamp series. Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out is another manga that had an anime airing in the last year. Very funny rom-com about sort of introverted senpai. Probably not quite as good as Nagatoro for me, but still very fun. Really enjoyed it. Vampire Knight Volume 1 through to 11 is something I bought when I was going through my angsty emo phase as a teenager. It's about a school that has sort of vampire classes in the night and normal classes during the day. It's not very good. I wouldn't recommend it. Warriors of Teo, also terrible. Weathering with You, the manga. I bought this because I'm a huge fan of the film. The manga is good, especially if you're a big fan of the film, but I don't know how good it would be if you hadn't seen the film, but still something I really enjoyed. Wild Act is another Tokyo Pop series. You're in My Secret was an ADV series, then they went bust, so it went to Tokyo Pop, and then they went bust. And this is about, it's a little bit like Your Name, I guess. It's about a boy and a girl who swap bodies with each other. Yotsubato, volumes 1 to 8. I really enjoy Yotsubato. It's a very funny comedy series. Probably not as good as Azumanga Daioh, but still good fun. Yu-Gi-Oh! R is Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V is Yu-Gi-Oh! I like Yu-Gi-Oh! a lot, so I do buy the manga sometimes, especially if I've got to fill in a gap on an offer. Som 100 is another very popular Viz Media release. This is about a guy who is slaving away at a dead-end job, and then when a zombie apocalypse happens, he's really happy because he can be free and fill out a bucket list of all the things he wants to do. Really, really good series. I would recommend. Zombie Alone 1 to 8, also very good. Zombie Powder 1 to 4, this is a complete set. This is by Taite Kubo. It's okay. I mean, it's not great, but it's okay. I think they're quite hard to get hold of now, but it's his earlier work, so if you want to see where he came from, that's a good example of that. Next up is some light novels. So we've got some Haruhi light novels and My Hero Academia light novel, Sword Art Online light novel, and Your Name, another side. And then we've got on this very dark shelf, Weathering with You. So those are some light novels. I've also got, as I'll take you around here, because they're too big to fit on this shelf, past some Nendoroids. Back there you can see there's a Sword Art Online, the Platinum Collector's Edition, and I'm reading through that at the minute, which is really good. Next up, we have my to-be-read manga, so the things I haven't read yet, but I will get around to reading. How to Treat Magical Beasts, Volume 4, you saw Volume 1, 2, 3 on the other side. Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, Volumes 1 and 2. I'm holding off on these because I want a lot more of them, because I want to binge them, but they're £25 each, which is really unreasonable. So I'm hoping somebody else will buy them for me, or I'll come into a lot of money and be able to buy them all myself. Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt Volume 12. This was a gift from somebody who knew I had this series, but didn't realise I only had the first 3 volumes, so I've got a lot more to buy to get to reading that. Platinum End volumes 8 and 12. I'm just buying these as I see them because they're really hard to get a hold of because of the anime. So hopefully I'll complete that set eventually. Next up, we have High School of the Dead, the last couple of volumes to complete this set that I haven't read yet. Kaguya-sama volumes 1, 3 and 4. Once I've got volume 2, I will start reading this, but I'm wanting volume 2 before I carry on. Attack on Titan Class Editions 3 and 4, and Attack on Titan No Regrets. Junji Ito is No Longer Human. Vagabonds 1, 5 and 9, again a series I'm trying to complete so I can binge it. Some One Piece omnibuses, The Next Haruhi, and My Hero Academia Volume 27. I'm missing Volume 26, so once I've got that I'll be able to read Volume 27, 28, which is down here, and 29. Same with Vigilantes. I'm finding it difficult to find volumes 2 and 4, so once I've got those I'll be able to carry on reading those. More One Piece. I've got lots of One Piece omnibuses. And then Pluto, which is another Naoki Urasawa manga, and I'm waiting to try and get the rest of this set before carrying on reading this, because these are quite hard to get a hold of. But once I've got them I will binge them. So, and Priest Volume 1, which is a Tokyo Pop series a friend gifted me. So that's my manga collection, and I did say I'm giving away the Attack on Titan Omnibus Edition. So if you would like this, please leave a comment down below and subscribe to my channel. Please also follow me on Instagram, because that's how I'll get in touch with people. So once I announce the winner, I'll ask you to drop me a message on Instagram, and then I will send this off to you. So just all you have to do is leave a comment down below. I'll do an announcement for this around Christmas time and send this to whoever wins. I don't need it, so hopefully one of you guys will get the enjoyment out of this that I had out of the Colossal editions. But please subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye, guys.